everyone? Welcome to Tuesday Creator Talks. I am one of the facilitators, Jeff, and I'm with Heather and Stephanie, two of my favorite people in the mofo world. Like, really, this is gonna be so much fun. If you guys aren't watching this live, make sure that let me know that you're here. Hashtag live, hashtag replay. Get some questions together about manifestation. We have two of the most expert people I know around manifestation sitting right here. So the people that I talk to when I need help with my manifestation. Okay. So, Steph, tell the people that may not know you, which I don't know how someone on my page can't know you at this point, but let them know who you are.
I am Stephanie McPherson, aka Steph Funny. My best friend gave me that name. She said, "It's your name, Stephanie. It's Steph Funny because you're so funny." I'm also the healthy chef Steph. It's the frickin' delicious. I specialize in healthy, scrumptiously delicious food, and it's all amazing. That's what I do. Oh, I mean, I do a lot of things, but yeah,
That's what Taylor says. Oh,
yeah,
She's a little bit passionate about this subject.
very.
a little bit passionate. And Heather, for those who may be hiding under a rock somewhere and don't know who you are, just introduce yourself, lovely.
I'm Heather. I'm an oracle, a shaman. I help amazing individuals undo all of that nasty shit that they've been carrying around with them energetically so that they can step into the life that they want and be happy with themselves, love themselves, self-love. Yeah.
Yeah, all those energy
And
blocks.
Jeff, you need to tell us about you.
Oh, so who I
I can't
am?
get the whole
Yeah.
Yeah, which way we are? We're
yeah.
that way. So, guys, my name's Jeff. Jeff Purdue Adkins. I help gay men and those who love us really break free from all the drama that they've been carrying on and dealing with so they can actually live a life that they desire. You know, it's craziness. Once I started realizing how much drama I was creating, it really, Heather can tell you, it's really a life changer. And
Yeah.
I'm so excited about today's topic. Today's topic is manifestation. Woo!
Hail to the yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
One of my favorite things to talk about.
Definitely. And really, like I said, the people that I come to about manifestation, if I'm having questions, if I'm having problems, if I'm having blocks, I'm asking one of these two people. Like literally, honestly, this is like I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna sit right here and I'm gonna sit back and learn today. So I think I want to start off with like one of the major things that I come in contact with people, not so much myself, but with others, is that they think that when we talk about manifestation, we're talking about this woo woo. You could sit back and just meditate
Right.
and just have it happen and fall in your lap, like it's just gonna happen because life opens up and the sky opens and there's your man. Um, but so
But you're right. That most people do think that. They're like,
Mhm.
well, but I asked the universe for it. Why didn't it just appear?
Right.
Yeah, manifestation definitely does not work like that.
Hmm. Yep. It's a lot more involved. But again,
yeah,
it's simpler than one would also think. It's not as difficult, but then it's it takes it is. It's not difficult, but it is involved.
mhm,
Yes. Yeah. You have to do the things like,
Hmm.
so let's use money for example, because everyone is always right. That's like the biggest thing people want to manifest is money or a relationship, right? Usually those are the two things.
sex and
You
candy,
can't
baby.
ask to be a millionaire. You can't say, I want $1 million and then
Hmm.
do nothing to make $1 million. If
Right.
you want $1 million, you have to pay attention to the signs around you and the messages that you're getting to make $1 million,
Hmm.
right? So like if you're not willing to put in the work, you're not gonna $1 million is not gonna fall out of the sky for you. Sorry, not sorry.
And also to that point, when they say they want something, but yet they will then counteract that with, oh, I don't, oh, I wish I were rich. I wish I were financially abundant and wealthy, but oh my God, look at all these bills coming in, and they'll speak negatively,
Yes.
because everything is energy, everything, everything. We're constantly manifesting. And what you
Whether
are
it's good or
seeing,
bad.
exactly,
Yeah.
So right.
exactly,
So that's right. Whether it's good or
100%.
bad, you're always you're manifesting because you
Yeah.
get what you give.
What you receive. You get like it's like I call the radio dials, the antenna. When you go to the frequency of 96.7, you're going to get 96.7, not 96.9. If you say I want 96.7, but then you're like, oh, but you start focusing on 96.9, then there's going to be some static.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so it's also the story we tell ourselves about that. Right? So the story that we tell ourselves about money or anything, whatever we're manifesting, is huge as well, right? So let's use money as an example, because everyone listening is going to be like, I want to know how to manifest the money. You have to love money.
Yes.
You have to receive the love that money is sending you. Jeff and I were literally just talking about this because I am taking a course that was gifted to me on attraction of abundance, creation, and manifestation, right? And I was literally just listening to a video and it said in there, we're told money doesn't grow on trees.
Right.
We don't have enough money, right? Like how many times was my parents used to say that all the time. I don't have a money tree in the backyard,
Yeah.
right? And money is the root of all evil.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So we have this
yeah.
and we chase it, right? So we go, I need this. I'm broke, I'm poor, I'm this, I'm that. And that's what you're attracting. You're attracting the lack just
Exactly.
as much as you attract the
Right.
positive, right? So you have to change that mindset of money is energy, just like everything else.
Everything.
And I love money and
money
I
loves me.
receive that love, right? I love money and I receive that love. Because when you love it, you're going to attract it. That goes across the board, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
to your point, money is the root of all evil, or people are greedy, people are selfish. You grow up hearing those types of, my mama and daddy said the same damn thing. And I'd want something. Money don't grow on trees. I was like, it actually does. I always, even as a child, I instinctively and intuitively knew to go, yeah, it does. It grows on trees in my backyard. I would say that. And technically, money's made of paper. Paper's made of trees.
Actually, it's not. It's made of cotton. It's
It's still a
still
living.
right. I just have to throw that out there because I was waiting for that part, and I'm like, no, it's not. It's cotton. It's a fabric.
All I can tell you is I would always go, it grows on trees in my backyard. And it's just like that. If you want, again, like you said, Heather, loving, it's about a frequency, money, food, warmth, your house, your job, your whatever you do on a daily basis, it's all frequency. And when you're talking about and speaking of relationships, I want to talk about this as well. People will be like, I want this and this and this and this in a partner, but they're not being that themselves.
Yes.
I want loyalty, or I want honesty, or I want this type of partner, or this quality, or this characteristic. They're so busy focused on outside of themselves because when what they're manifesting out there is what is a reflection of what's in here.
Yeah.
You have
sure.
to be what you want to attract.
As about relationships, because I stopped dating about 4 years ago because of that. I say all the time in my lives and when I'm talking about it, of quit saying what you don't want.
Right.
Right? Because we say all the time what we don't want. I don't want another partner like that. I don't want a man that does this. I don't want, right? And then we wonder why we repeat that. right?
Right.
You need to quit saying what you don't want in life. Do you want me to say the saying? I have to say the saying.
You have to say the saying.
You don't order a pizza by telling them what you don't want on it. Quit telling the universe all the things you don't want.
It's one of my favorite things that Heather says.
We
And she
have
says
this
it to me at
saying,
least
I
once a
do.
week.
Yeah, at least.
At least once a
Have you
week.
ever, are you in communities like a lot of women, female, like, empowering, inspiring spiritual communities? We do this thing where we do that,
No.
like when somebody says something amazing
Oh, that's
and wonderful,
beautiful.
and it's like
Because it's
you're
passing
like,
the energy.
yes,
Oh,
yes,
yeah, I love that.
yeah, oh yeah,
So,
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, I think that it's one of the biggest mistakes is that we think that we cannot work on ourselves and expect to
right,
attract what it is that we want.
right,
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to embody the things that you want. That goes back to wanting money and not and then not wanting to work for it. Right?
right.
I just want to win the lotto. Well,
I mean,
Guess what
that
you
would
gotta
be
do?
great, but
You gotta go
but you
play
have
the
to play the
lotto.
lotto.
Right.
You have to
like you
play the
say, Heather,
lotto. You
right,
have to play the
yeah,
lotto, right? You want to win the
you
lotto,
know,
you have to play the lotto. Like,
but
I
see,
see
and
that all the time.
some people, like, or a lot of us, I mean, we all are brainwashed and hypnotized by the way in which we carry out our every single day. And
oh yeah.
again, what you're experiencing in the present moment is a reflection of, subconscious programs. Because
Yeah.
again, there are subconscious programs that we all have. I mean, it's easy for me to do certain things because I do them. But
Mhm.
but if somebody presented something else for me to do that's outside of my wheelhouse, it
Yeah.
would be somewhat of a challenge. But it doesn't mean that it's not doable. It just means that you need to make more of a concerted effort. Again, creating, because you want it to become a
Mhm.
frequency that just emanates
Yeah.
subconsciously. And when we're talking about money, and we're, again, I love money. Like, I have all these positive, I love money and money loves me. Freedom and abundance and joy, and writing these things down. I have, not I want, because then you're always wanting. I
Right.
am.
Yes.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, what is the difference? So one of the things that I talk about all the time is the difference between problem solving and creation. So the issue is that we're so conditioned to solve the problem. So look for
Hmm.
the lack, look for this, look for that, look for this, where we
Yeah.
never actually create what we desire. We don't know what it is that we want. We say we want $1 million. Well, actually, that you don't want $1 million. If you put $1 million in your house, I promise you, it's just in the way. It doesn't do anything unless you're actually spending it, using it, doing
Hmm.
something. It's
Yeah.
an it's a choice maker. It
Hmm.
opens up options. So if you're always looking at problems, oh, I need to solve this. I need $1 million so that
Right.
I need to, of course I can't think. I need a new job because this person's an asshole, or that's how I'm feeling today. Um, so
Right.
I
I
need
can't afford this. I never have. Like, I
Right.
always
right.
want something. I always, instead of, so part of that is like Steph was just saying affirmations, right?
Mhm.
That's a huge, powerful thing because what you're actually doing is retraining the pathways, the neurological pathways in your brain to create a different rut, a different
Hmm.
connection
Hmm.
so that you subconsciously are just doing it, right?
Right.
You're changing the frequency.
Hmm.
Right, this is what I do in my healing sessions as well, right? This works with trauma,
I've
everything.
had.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So it's about then it becomes easy. Then it becomes just a natural thing that you do. Money is my ally. Money is my energetic partner in creating the life I would like to create for myself and for the world. Right.
Hmm.
That's one of those. I say that on a regular basis.
Oh,
Money is my ally. Money is my energetic partner in creating the life I am creating for myself and for the world. Because you can't be selfish about it either because it
no.
is an energy. So it is a give and
Right.
take.
Right.
Everything that I spend comes back to me tenfold.
Yes. Yes. giving and receiving. Have you ever heard
It's
of
all about that. And you have to be open to receive it.
right? Have you ever heard of Tasha Silver? Tasha
No.
Silver. It see, I'm using my phone, but it's called her book is called "It's Not Your Money," and there is this abundance.
Ooh, I
Oh, it's
like that.
amazing. So
Here, I'm gonna look it
it's
up.
I want to recite the prayer, and I read this every day. Okay, but it's not just about money, it's about your worth, your value, abundance in all areas of your life. So here it is. It's divine beloved, allow me to give with complete ease and abundance, knowing that you are the unlimited source of all. Let me be an
Ooh.
easy, open conduit for your prosperity. Let me trust that all my own needs are always met in amazing ways and that it's safe to give freely as my heart guides. And equally, let me feel
Oh.
wildly open to receiving. May I know my own value, beauty, and worthiness without question. Let me allow others the supreme pleasure of giving to me. May I feel worthy to receive in every possible way. Change me into one who can fully love, forgive, and accept myself so I may carry your light without restriction. Let everything that needs to go, go.
Mm.
Let everything that needs to come, come. I am utterly your own. You are me. I am you. We are
Ooh.
one. All is well. And then at the end, I say, I'm ready to receive. I'm ready to give. I'm ready to receive. I'm ready to give. And I go, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Powerful.
Yeah.
Okay, we can end the show now. No, I'm kidding.
Right. And
No,
on
we
that
got,
note,
And on
yeah.
that note,
we've given you all the information. We're out. Love
we're
you.
See ya. um, but yeah, and
That
it's
is
about
so
it.
powerful. I receive that. I receive
Yeah.
that.
Oh, good,
Yeah,
good.
being open to receive as well. You have to be um and not ever we also have to realize we that you really have to get down to what you really want.
Mhm.
Because like you were saying, I want $1,000,000. Do you really want $1,000,000?
I want $1 billion, but what I will do with the $1 billion.
Th
right.
So there's where you get clear, right? Like,
Exactly.
okay, cool, you want $1,000,000,000. What are you gonna do with that $1,000,000,000? I'm gonna change people's lives. I'm gonna
Oh my
open a healing center. I'm going to right? So you get specific about what the stuff that you want,
God. Hmm.
and that is what attracts that in. I always have what I need. I never want for anything. That's another really powerful affirmation that I love to say. And I
Hmm.
actually got my daughter saying that, Mom, when I used to stress about money, and I always and then I go, it always comes to me when I need it, need it to,
Yeah,
even if that means that I have to ask for help.
absolutely.
Mhm.
Asking
Right?
for
So that's
help.
another thing. You have to also be able to receive it. And so if you need the help, you have to be able to receive it, which was something very hard for me for a very long time. I'm going to do it on my own. I'm a strong bitch. I don't need
Right.
anyone's help. I'm not,
Mhm.
or I don't feel like I can rely on anyone. That's really what it boiled down to, right? Is
Right,
that
right,
I didn't feel
right.
like I could ask for help. And I had people come back to me and go, "Oh my gosh, that makes me so mad that you struggled like that because I would have helped. All you would have had to do was ask." So
Right.
now when I do need the help, I know people that I can go to and ask for it. And they are
Mhm.
more than happy to help me. Like because you're denying them what it feels like to help. Just like when you
Exactly.
get that feeling of helping. And my little Polish mama
Yeah.
told me that one night, right?
Mhm.
About receiving. I had a friend who wanted to give me a massage. And of course, my first thought, he was a male, was, oh gosh, here we go. Right. No, he just really wanted to give me a massage. Like it wasn't anything other than he's like, I want to make you feel good. And I was like, I don't. And she goes, well, you know that feeling that you get when you help someone and how good it makes you
Yeah.
feel? And I go, yeah. And she goes, when you don't receive, then you're denying that feeling from someone else. And I was like,
Yeah. Yeah. Or
oh,
and to that point, Heather, to that point when somebody compliments you, thank you.
yeah.
But it's like it's so customary, especially for women. Oh well, this skirt is old, or oh my God, I've oh
Yes.
my hair, my hair. No, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, just to say thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I don't know how many times I've done that.
Mhm.
Where someone says, "Oh, you're so beautiful." And it takes me, I have to just go, "Thank you," and stop myself because I want to go, "Oh, I feel like shit today." Right? Like, really? Because I think I'm a hot mess today.
Another thing that women, I was at Trader Joe's recently shopping on a very, very packed Sunday. And it was amazing. I have learned again because I know the three of us, we all have been doing this kind of work with ourselves, for ourselves. For
Yeah.
me, it's been over 20 years. So I
Yeah.
know about like when you don't say I'm sorry, you say I apologize, or like how many women I was at Trader Joe's and accidentally, you're not even bumping into people and women are like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry." Instead of excuse me. And I was like, "Excuse me." And oh, I'm sorry. It's like and one day at the gym, oh my God, one day at the gym, I was walking to the bathroom and there was a woman on an elliptical. And I like kind of bumped into the elliptical. And she went, "Oh, I'm sorry." And
Wait,
I was
you
like,
didn't jump out the elliptical, right? You're gonna push the elliptical out in front
right.
of you.
And I know, I mean, but I feel, I felt,
Mhm.
I mean, I didn't like judge her, be like, "Oh," but I felt for her like she is of that. Women are apologizing for taking up space.
Space,
Bull
right, they're
fucking
apologizing for
hell.
existing. Yeah.
Yeah. You take up space.
It's
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
funny. It's so funny. Tomorrow's so you guys all know that I do my socials like months in advance. Tomorrow's post says you can take up space.
Oh,
So
yeah.
for a really long time, I have big energy. People always think I'm way taller than I am. Like, I'm only 5'5".
So you're like
And
an inch
at my
taller than me.
tallest, and I've shrunk a couple inches. At my tallest, I was 5'7". And people are like, "What? You're like 5'10", 5'9", 5'10". And I'm like, I have never even been close to that. Now my sister on the other hand is 6 foot.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but I'm like, I have never even been close to that. And I used to try to shrink myself because I'm loud, I have big energy, and when I walk into a room, and I have for years, I change the energy of the room.
Oh,
And
that's so
I used to try to shrink myself, which how did I do that? I numbed in some way, right?
Mhm.
I masked. I tried to, and now I am so comfortable with myself that I could walk in a room and change the energy of the room and sit down and say nothing at all.
Okay,
oh, cold chills.
this is
Right? I don't have to say a word.
Wow.
yay.
100%. 100%. And own that because I saw something recently.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was a meme or it was a post or an article. I can't remember, but talking about, oh no, it was a woman. And she was just fierce and fabulous talking about you walk into a room and you don't let people affect your energy. You go in there and you change the energy of the room. And I'm like,
Yes.
woohoo! Yes.
Someone gave me an exercise once, and I was assisting around a landmark program, and you guys have all heard me talk about Landmark Worldwide. It's a great
Yes.
organization. I've
Landmark.
done,
Uh-huh.
and I was assisting around one of the programs, and someone told me, "I want you to do, I want you to do something. Every time you walk in the office, I want you to count how long it takes before without you saying anything, someone to say hello to you, and then I want you to watch someone else walk into the room and do the same thing." And depending on the person, there was a couple people that beat me in times, right? Their energy was stronger than mine. You know, every time it was within 4 seconds that someone would, without me saying anything, without me like being any gestures or anything, I'm walking back and forth. I'm busy at this point. I'm just walking in the office, right? Walking back and forth from the auditorium to the office. Doing this big event. There's 150 people here. There's all kinds of things I'm doing, you know, and that was it. Every time I walked in the office, within 4 seconds, someone would say something. "Hey, Jeff. Oh my God, Jeff, you're here. Oh, Jeff. Oh my goodness, it's been a while." Right. And other people would walk in, same, same thing. And I wasn't trying. I wasn't trying to I wasn't pushing energy out. I wasn't doing anything. I really was just freaking working, right? And other people would walk in, and it'd be 5, 6, 7. Not necessarily long times. And then there was a couple people that walked in, like literally, as soon as they walked in the room, I knew they walked in before I turned around and knew they walked in.
Yeah.
It was like those people. Notice that. Notice when you're in a grocery store how many people are dead behind the eyes. So
Yeah.
for a while, I worked in a
Or
grocery
being
store.
on an elevator with a bunch of
Right.
people.
Watch an
Yeah.
elevator.
Yeah.
I make it a very big point, if I'm in public, I look people in the eye.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
If I'm in public, I look people in the eye. And you watch the like blankness, just blankness. And it's because when I worked in a grocery store and I was doing all the event stuff in the grocery stores, I would watch people, and we had a Jenga game. It's Christmas, and we're doing a Jenga promotion. Okay, the stupidest thing I've ever done in my life. I'll be honest with you. Like, give me food all day long. Don't make me sit here with this friggin' Jenga tower, right? No one would play Jenga with me. It's Jenga. Knock it over. So
Yeah. That's
when
what
people would right. So when
Right.
people would be stupid, I would literally like throw the bricks all over the place and like do this big whole scene. Like, what the fuck does it matter? You're allowed to
Well,
say
because we're conditioned to like keep your head down and don't interrupt the flow for other people. So my kids, this is funny because so I take up so much space that I'm not allowed to make eye contact when I go out with people or smile at men specifically. Women, I'm good with. Men, I've had men follow me around the grocery store and I didn't say anything to them, but I smiled and made eye contact. And my daughter used to say, "You are not allowed to make eye contact when we go to the grocery store." And people like laughed about it. And then they went out in public with me. And it happens all the time. I had a friend who rides the motorcycle, the motorized carts in the grocery store.
Yes.
And I lived with her. This was years ago. And I would, be behind her with the cart and I'm like bebopping along and I'm not paying attention. And she goes, I love going grocery shopping with you. And I go, why? And she goes, because men will trip over themselves to double take at you. They will. And for a long time, it made me uncomfortable. So when it became,
But
when people started pointing it out, I was like, oh, but now I'm like, look all you want. I don't care.
absolutely.
Because it's that big energy. It's what you're putting out there.
And to the point of Jeff, what you were saying about like when shopping, sometimes because there is a myriad of emotions and energies, you do have, you have to protect yourself. So not making eye contact with especially, because you don't want your energy to be, because sometimes you'll be around a group of people and all of a sudden you start to feel icky or like because you're picking up on a vibration. So you do have to be mindful of that.
Yes.
Obviously you can. A girlfriend of mine has this practice where she opens her chakras, but then she closes off her chakras in certain incidences, and oftentimes that's when she's shopping.
Yeah.
I'll be right back. I got to get a Kleenex. My nose just runs and runs because it's chilly. I'll
No
be right
worries.
back. But I can hear y'all because I got my headset on.
Yay.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely, one of the things I do in those kind of situations, if I start feeling it, I bubble.
Yeah.
And if my bubble isn't strong enough, I wall. So
Bubble for me usually works because I imagine all the energy bouncing off the bubble. And this is the same energy
yeah,
going back to manifestation. This is the same type of energy that we use to manifest as well, right?
exactly.
Is changing yourself and the energy around what you want
And noticing it.
Yes.
and noticing it and allowing yourself to like. So that's the other thing is you have to be open to receive it as well. So as much as we talk about we want and we're putting it out into the universe, that's not the key. Is actually to turn inward,
Mhm.
to open up to receive it, because you can't ask for something and then not be open to receive it when it
Right.
comes to you, right?
Be a
Like, because if you
magnet.
close off to that, then, well, you can want all you want, you could put the energy out there all you want, but you
Mhm.
have to allow it to come back to you in some way.
I
And
love that. Go ahead, Jeff.
sometimes
Yeah,
it's really challenging because
it is.
I am living. It's so funny. I live so much shit these days. I get to be an example for everybody. Um, and that's what's great. I told you I talk to these two people, um, constantly. They're probably sick of me. And,
No, not at all.
Stephanie goes,
Not at all.
yeah, and then no.
No, I said no. I said not at all. I don't know if you can
but
hear me.
but what was great was um recently I'm for those who don't know, I am creating a transformational center in New Orleans. I found a couple pieces of property that are suitable. I've been really in this thing, and I've never done any of this stuff. And I can tell you right now, I can't afford to buy this property right now. Right? I'm need looking at eight
So
acres,
that's not what you say. What you
right.
Exactly.
say is right.
Yeah.
So what I've been dealing with is I was given a list of people to call because that doesn't have to be my money.
Exactly.
It's not
Exactly.
Yeah.
about. I was given a list of people to call. Now, have I called any of those people? Have I
No, because then you feel like you have to eat crow, and it's
and deal with
prideful to right, like
all
right.
these things, right? But this is what I want. And so I've been on this whole we get caught up in the minutia then, right? Trying to avoid what we want,
Mhm.
right? Although
Right.
I was giving a list of people that I know I'm comfortable talking to that I really could just like literally it's not the first thing I've talked to them about, right? It's not like I'm cold calling people. It's not like these people don't know who I am. These are people I
Right.
actually know that just so happens that they invest in property.
Mhm.
This is something they do. Like,
Mhm. Mhm.
you know what I mean? And so, but what I got stuck in is that my presentation has to be beautiful, that I have to have all my numbers down,
Right.
like backwards and forwards and everything, and all over the place, and how this needs to be in this because I realized today, and I was talking to my coach today, and he just like because I said I'm stuck here, and I'm like because finally I realized I was running some kind of loop that I didn't see yet, right? And so I messaged him, and this is today, in manifestation land. Anyone that has heard this story, they know that I saw this property and I knew it was my property, and I know that it's my property, right?
Right.
I found two others that are just as powerful that may work even better. One has more land for less money, and the other one is like right where I want to be.
Yeah,
20
and
minutes,
claim it. Like
20 minutes from the
Jeff.
karaoke place.
Yeah.
Okay, 20 minutes from karaoke.
His
That's all.
dream right
My
there. That's all he
dream
wants.
that to be like
Friday night karaoke's. I'm just kidding.
right.
And
Exactly.
immerse yourself in the feeling of what that feels like when you're living on that land and you're running
Yeah.
that retreat and you have people like Heather and I coming in as guest speakers and we're
Hmm.
all like like ayahuasca and yeah, I mean and just
Yeah.
It could.
imagine
Yeah.
so like and that's what I like one I do that. I have so many journals. I have years of journals where I write I have and I am and this is what I'm doing and this is how this is playing out and this is but it's all about the feeling. So I also
Hmm.
include and I'm in this state of like I am in a state of euphoric bliss, elated excitement. I experience so much happiness, immense joy, and love and happiness and passion and I mean just like and I'm focused on and I have those feelings.
Hmm.
And when there's something in particular that I don't like isn't in my physical presence, I focus on how it feels when that is a imminent or like a lived
That's key
reality.
though. That is
Yeah.
key to that's part of manifesting is having that feeling of
Yes.
what is it going to feel like to drive the new car? Like I'm
Yes.
manifesting a big truck, a big truck, right? And powerful, and driving it and being able to go visit you guys and stopping along the way and eating amazing food, right? Because it's not just about the truck. What do I get to do with the truck? I
Uh-huh.
get to travel in that truck, and I get to hold healing circles, right? And I get to
Yes.
get incredible, beautiful, gorgeous beings together so that I can help them and guide them to be able to love themselves so much that
Absolutely.
no one would think of loving them any less than that because they love
Right.
themselves.
Absolutely.
Right. So then you start thinking about all those incredible things, and then all the wonderful food I'm going to get to eat along the way and go stay at Steph's Airbnb and eat some of that incredible frickin' licious food that she's always posting about, and cook with her and
Cool.
learn from
Yeah.
different people, and
Hmm.
just that feeling, that you like you said, that euphoric, blissful,
Hmm.
wonderful, amazing feeling. That's what you think about
Mhm.
Right.
when you are doing your meditation to manifest the things that you want, because it's not just the truck, it's the experience in which
Hmm.
that truck is going,
Truck.
the freedom it's going to give me,
Right.
all the emotions that go along with that. And if you have an issue, because we're educating, if you have an issue coming up with those, find something that has already happened in your life
Yes.
that has that emotional attachment that you want, and bring that emotion into the manifestation.
Hmm. Hmm. Because that's what people want. It's not necessarily so. I mean, let's just say it takes $1 billion a year to live. Well, having $1 million is like having 10 cents. So it's not about a number. It's not a, it's
Yeah.
about this is what in that having this amount of money enables me to do, like you were saying, like give to people, help others. Like for me, it's like, contracting with the commissary kitchen and being able to service all of Charlotte and the surrounding areas. Something I'm at the present time working out of my kitchen or my friend's kitchen, not able to do yet. But
Right.
people need like my healthy, scrumptiously delicious food, and the pleasure people derive when they eat something. Oh, you have no idea how much it squeezes my heart when people are like, oh, like I delivered the meals this afternoon to the family, one of my families, and oh God, this is hilarious. I got to tell this story. This is hilarious. The very first time I ever met the mother, the son was there when I was delivering their food because I'd only talked to her on the phone prior. I was delivering the food, and he was kind of laid up in the living room in the ottoman. And I remember her telling me that and something about high school and soccer, and he had hurt his foot playing soccer. Well, I thought he was a high school kid. I mean, he looks, I mean, I didn't really think about it.
They all
Well,
look 12. It's okay, Steph. They all look
no,
12.
no, no, girl, I'm getting there. So today, I've been, providing meals for them for several months now, and I did a post about it with my pet because he wanted chicken Alfredo, and I don't typically that's not how I cook. Lots of butter, lots of carbs, lots of cheese, But I'm like, but he's 17-year-old athlete. Hell yeah, I'm making this for him. Look up a recipe. It's such a basic recipe. I'm like, I've never made it, but anyway, I deliver him food. His mama's in South Carolina, and I was telling him about the post I did. He goes, "What?" He's like, "I'm 38 years old." I said, "You're 38?" I said, "I thought you were in." He said, "I thought he was like." I was like, "No, you're not," because he looks like he's in early to mid 20s. But sometimes when you're 17, 18, I mean, you look
Mhm.
like you're in your early to mid 20s. And I was like, "No fucking way." But yeah, he's like 38 years old. I just had to add that. That was so hilarious.
That is awesome. That is
But
awesome.
he's an athlete. He's an
Right.
athlete?
Well, he plays hockey and he did play soccer in high school and he had hurt his foot, but he hurt it playing hockey back when I was, but I don't know where the high school where I don't maybe okay, okay, she said he played high school or soccer in high school. That's probably where I mixed it up.
Right.
I'm ADD all over the place to
And so
hyper
then did
hyper.
you give him a lesson in eating healthy? Because at 38, he's still
You
Girl,
can't
but he
eat the-
looks, like an athlete. Like his body, you know what I'm
right.
saying? He's very physically fit. So that's, I was like, yeah, he's 17. That's, easy. But he's like, but he just kept telling me, he's like, I love your food. He goes, your food is so amazing. Everything you make. He goes, I don't even care. Like you could just, I'll order like 3 meals and you can do a surprise fourth meal. And it's just like, I was just wowed, you know.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to actually having
Right.
salmon that I actually like.
Oh my God, my salmon is
Because
mind blowing.
Oh my gosh. Every time you post that salmon, I'm like, oh, I wish she could just ship it across the country.
the
But
I
the
I
love
think,
salmon though.
but I'm
I
telling
just
you,
made it for my
but
birthday.
that is where I'm headed, Heather. And I had a friend who's also, in the same community that we are, and he was saying, "Well, why are you?" Because I want to be on the Food Network. I am. I say I am a celebrity cook, a Food Network star. I cook for millions of people for a living, and I got that from Cartier Brown, Delicious Miss Brown. She literally, ironically, she was host like an episode of Delicious Miss Brown was on like 2 weeks ago, and she was talking about how she manifested, spoke into existence her cookbook,
Mhm.
and how she's very intentional and how she puts what she puts out to the world, to the universe. And and that's what I mean. I go to bed, I say, I am I'm a financially free, abundant, prosperous, healthy woman traveling the world, hosting cooking shows, all about scrumptiously delicious, healthy food. And I inspire millions of people to eat healthy and love themselves and live their best lives. So I mean, and I write this and I repeat this and I feel this and
Yeah. Well, yeah, you have to. You have to. If you want this, if you want to manifest something, you have to speak it into existence. You have to feel it.
yeah.
You have to, that's that vibration, that getting
Mhm.
in to that
It-
mindset and that
the-
vibration of it.
definitely the vibration. But one of the things that you don't talk about as often is how often you've called producers, and
Mhm.
because the other side of that is
You
that
have
you
to do the
have to
work.
do the work, and the work is
So
she's gone on auditions. She has how many different sizzle reels that she's done. Had she has written a cookbook. She
So, right.
yeah.
So to your point, Jeff, so like not speaking about that, and I probably, well, absolutely should be sharing, my journey because I'm not just writing this and sitting in
Mhm.
sacred space and praying and, intentionally you thinking about it. I am actively every fucking day doing things in actual actionable steps, and like I said, this friend who's in the same realm as we are was like, well, why is it, I was like, all time is the same time, past, present, future. I said, my higher self knows what I need to have. Like 6 years ago, 7 years ago, when I started Defo Rick and Licious, I was ready that day to be on the Food Network hosting cooking shows, and I
Mhm.
would have been damn good. But look at all, when I look back to 2016, and when the day, when I was in my kitchen, started my little cooking show with salmon, and we've got the cookbook, we've got the empowered conversations, the certification as a health coach, the certification as a life coach, the active, hypnotized and brainwashed way in which I walk my talk every day. When I just applied for a show. I'm gonna keep it on the down low. I'm gonna tell y'all after this, but I applied for a show today. I sent a video interview. I am
Mhm.
actively, I'm reaching out without
Yes.
being a pest and bombarding people. I'm making myself known and I'm building my brand to where I know I'm worthy of a seat
Mhm.
at the table
Mhm.
Yeah.
next to the barbecue and next to the, you know, everything else that
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
all things food. It all has purpose and power, and I have purpose and power, my own unique gift with food.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I'm doing it, doing it, doing it, doing it. And I was in tears. Like, I don't know if y'all can tell, but I was in tears doing this because it's like, I want this with like every ounce of my heart pounding passion. I want this, or just not want, I am this.
Yeah.
And it's a matter of time.
It's just a matter of time. And
And
the
time is we think of time as linear. It is not. We like time
Right.
is humanly constructed, right?
Mhm.
So there is no such like
Right.
so
It's
you
an
have to
illusion.
that's why we always say also a manifestation that you already have it, right? It's
Exactly.
already yours because
I am. I
um
have.
and you know
yeah.
what I found is that sometimes when I have not gotten what I wanted, right? Or
Hmm.
it's been paused,
Hmm.
okay? It's because that situation wasn't right, right? So I applied at this is some years ago. I ran nightclubs at one point, and I went to run a nightclub in the community I was living in, Ferndale, and they were like, "No, just no." Um,
Yeah.
they wanted to hire me as a server, and they started wanting to hire me as a server, and then as we got to talking, it was a whole different interview, and then they didn't hire me for either. Okay, so it really kind of pissed me off, but um, it wasn't what was supposed to happen. Was I was supposed to leave. I was supposed to leave food altogether because it was not my passion. It was just something that I did to make money.
Hmm.
Okay. And I was supposed to leave food altogether. I have not been back to food since since I started doing stuff with authors. And that led me directly to here,
Hmm.
which is I can't even imagine. Like even back then I couldn't imagine being in an RV. I still sometimes can't imagine being in an RV. I talk about that all the time. I'm like, why the hell? I am not the outdoor guy, but like I want to go to karaoke, but I want to be far enough away from people that I don't have to do. I can actually chill and get energy and have space
Yeah.
and see sky and out here where I'm at right now. I'm about an hour and a half. I'm an hour from everywhere. I'm an hour from Ann Arbor, an hour from Toledo, an hour from Detroit. Don't know how that works. Trust me, if you look at a map, that does not make sense, but it's true. That's where I'm at, and it's one of the. It almost made this area almost made a light preserve. Like we're like only like a few lumens off from being like a preserve, so you can see like multiple layers of sky.
Ooh.
And
That's
the first time I saw that, it was like, oh my god, there's like things. There's things, and you're like looking at up, and you're like, there's like
Yeah.
the cloud, like the I don't even know what the nebula is. What I want to call it, but I don't think that's the word. I wouldn't have got here if I would have got there, because if I would have got that job, I would have been I would have been happy. It's a
right.
running nightclubs is fun. It's great. It's exciting. There's always something happening, right? So you have to realize sometimes that it might be the producer's off for that show. You would get not get along with that producer,
Right.
or
Oh
you
yeah,
run
when
into
it doesn't happen, it's always for a reason.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
always for a reason.
and I was sharing that with you last week on the Creative Nomad show when I was trying to get into pharmaceutical sales.
Hmm.
I would get so close. It'd be down to one other candidate and me over and over and over and over, like 3 years. And I would always, and then all of a sudden, at the last millimeter of an eighth of a second, the other candidate would be rescinded the offer. And it wasn't until I had watched Kevin Trudeau's Natural Cures I Don't Want You to know about when I realized, while, pharmaceuticals and drugs and surgeries are necessary in certain incidences, it is not health and wellness. And I had been on the health and wellness journey. So that was so out of alignment. Would I have been a dynamite drug rep? Absolutely. Calling on doctors. What's that? I mean, because I got into medical device and I got
Right.
into the operating room, which is where I really did have a passion. And yeah, I established great rapport. My customers love me. The surgeons love me. The nurses, like, what's that? I mean, I'm me. I'm just always, but even with that, there has been one fucking pull out the rug from under me situation, regardless of how amazing my sales were or great rapport I had with customers and patients and doctors.
Mine was the
Uh,
same way. I worked in medical for
Crazy.
almost 25 years
What did you
and
sell?
I did not. I was a medical assistant and I taught medical assisting. I was an instructor on the college level. And I was mentoring. I was doing basically all the things that I do now, just on a different level. And I was told how I had to do it. And I was encouraging people to go into a high stress. I was teaching people to go into a high stress environment in a job
Mhm.
that they may or may not, and I tell my students all the time, this is giving you knowledge. And if you never ever go into an office and work, that's perfectly okay because no one can take this experience away from you. And, and stuff. But over the years, same thing. I was always the best MA. I was one of the best instructors. I had the best attrition rate. I had, um, my last college that I worked at, when I was when I was teaching there, their attrition rate went through the roof, the medical program did. They had the largest, and this college has been in Colorado and New Mexico for 30 years or something like that. And the class, so I got them the first 2 terms that they came in. So, like, the first 3 months that they were there, they were with me. Well, once you get them past that point, the likelihood that they're gonna complete the program goes up astronomically, right?
Yeah.
Usually, if they're gonna drop out, it's gonna be in those first couple of terms. And, a class that started with me was the largest graduating class they had ever had. They had ever had in the history of the school, and they have never matched it since then.
Wow. So
And
why do
I
you
went
think?
from having 25 students in a class, meaning that there was 15 to 20 new starts every single term. So every term I got new students to as soon as I stopped working there. So this talks about energy and what you bring to the table and all of those things as well. They dropped from getting 15 to 20 new starts to 5
Oh, wow.
in 6 weeks because I brought something to the table that no one else can do. What I do, and even now, what I do, no one else does
Right.
because I created what I wanted and what I needed.
So are
Mhm.
you still doing that or?
Nope. No, I stopped doing that in 2019, the beginning of 2019, and I started my own in-depth healing and that's where I created my chakra program that's 9
Mhm.
weeks long, and we get into each chakra and where the blockages are and why you have the blockages and how to release those so that you can receive.
Right.
Because when you're unable to receive, it's a blockage in your energy somewhere, right?
Mhm.
And it's
Mhm.
from something that has happened in your past in some way.
Yeah.
And this goes across the board, right? So this is for everything. And so, yeah, so I created a program to help people to do that, to release those blockages so that you're not carrying all that emotional baggage that we talk about all the time. And it's actually energetic baggage that we carry around.
Mhm.
Right? And so people who've gone through my program and people who come and have soul sessions with me, it changes their life. It
Mhm.
changes their life. I have a client who went through my 9-week program. It was gifted to her by another client of mine, actually. And she hadn't worked in years. She didn't even think she could work. She didn't think she could be on her own. She had lived with her ex-husband and his current wife for 7 years with her kids. She had back issues, like all of these things.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
within a year of after us letting stuff go and opening her up, and again, not that the healing process stopped at that point, but
Right.
she was able to, continue going now for a year now. So this was 2 years ago. She moved out on her own. She has held a job, the same job. She takes care of her and her kids on her own. She doesn't rely on anyone else. And when she came to me and started working with me, she never thought that she would ever be able to do that. She
Wow.
thought that she was going to have to apply for disability and be on disability for the rest of her life. All because of limiting beliefs and blocked
Mhm.
energy that
Mhm.
she just thought that that was going to be her life. And I have to, so personally, I have had to remind myself, even as of recently, to bring in that same passion. Jeff and I were just talking about this the other day, bringing in the same passion that I did as an instructor. I actually sent him a voice message. I said, hold on to this for me, right? Which was that, like, I am incredible at whatever I do,
Mhm.
and that I can bring that same passion into what I do now as I did when I was an instructor. That same confidence, that same everything, because I could get up in front of that classroom and you're going to learn something new from me every day, whether it be a life lesson or whether it be a medical thing, you're going to learn something.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same in what I do now, because also energetically, you will manifest into your life sickness and illness
Mhm.
if you do not unblock your energy,
Yep.
because every sickness, every illness, every disease is dis-ease.
Dis-ease.
Dis-ease, it means that your energy is out of whack in your body in some way.
Speaking of
Which,
that, go
go
ahead,
ahead.
Jeff.
Nope, all you.
So I tend to have like God, I don't know that I've ever had the flu, but the two times that I've had COVID, it was like in January 22, and then January 23, I think. Anyway, what I have noticed is that I energetically purge, at least what I've been paying attention to, because we can, like I said, like when we're trying, like we got to be mindful of our energy and mindful of what we're taking in when we're out. We can,
Mhm.
you have no idea how much negativity, just is just walking out your front door. So you never like in 2019, the beginning of 2019, right around this time, I was interviewing with a company called Agility, and I can say their name and I can say everybody's name. Oh, it's that's that 2 hour video. I don't know if it wrote like it that I did in September, like back in 2019. But anyway, um, it's like a $200,000, just like full everything. I was going to be traveling. I was in the OR selling surgical, services, etc. Um, and it was just like this amazing opportunity. And so right now, I'm in the process. They're about to send me that offer, and I get the offer, and I start working for the company. I started on February 10th. Well, I go to a national sales meeting, and I'd learned, from being at other companies, because in the corporate world, especially in sales, B2B, like the corporate sales, it is a shit show. Meetings out in Vegas, wherever they have, I mean, everybody's
It's
getting
stressful. Yeah.
drunk, I mean, just annihilated. And I'd learned, from a company I'd worked for that, everybody, managers, it's just a shit show. Everybody's shit faced on the company dime, and it could cause problems. So when I went, my third week on the job, I was at a national sales meeting where I was meeting everybody nationally, out in Austin, Texas. And I was obviously very mindful of my drinking just because I'm a new person. I don't want to just, I ain't like I'm hanging out with you guys. Woo, let's throw some shots back. But anyway, so
Tequila? What?
but the last night I was there, I go to bed, um, I wake up like 4 in the morning to missed calls, voice messages, text messages from my manager stating that people were calling him after midnight, telling him that I was overserved and acting inappropriately. And the call he got was from one of my direct report manager, Mike, and he's the one who had just seen me down in the bar, knew I wasn't drunk, knew I was like we were talking about his flight out the next morning and getting to see his kids. He knew I wasn't drunk. So then it's like 45 minutes later, he's calling the other manager and waking him up. They're both going downstairs to look for me. I'm not there. I'm in my room sleeping. And all this is on video surveillance and key fob. And the next day, I'm like, I finally get on with with the one manager. I'm not going to mention his name because he had my back. And he's like, Stephanie, he's like, I don't. It's got to be a case of mistaken identity. I have no idea what the hell's going on. He goes, we've talked about this. We're going to just like forget about it. then the next Monday, I get a call from HR saying that I had shared an inappropriate picture of myself with this guy, Ed Micha, this guy that was sharing with me pictures of himself competing in a weenie bikini bodybuilding. And I was sharing Deepa Rickalicious videos because everybody was like, oh, she's a health coach. She's got a cooking show. Show me your cooking show. Going to my YouTube channel, nothing inappropriate on that. So when they couldn't get me for inappropriate and overserved because I'm sleeping, they made that shit up that I'd share. And oh, it was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. And to this day, that's the karma that they're carrying. I have forgiven them, but I've also forgiven myself because as an energetic being, I realize that I am an equal participant energetically in that particular situation. And there's a reason that it was manifested. There's something that I either like karma. I believe in reincarnation. I believe just that's just me. Whether you know, and maybe in a previous life I was a mob boss or something, and I was a
So but you
fucking
also have to release that too. So I
yes,
literally
yes,
just was on a live last night talking about this on TikTok. You know, it always comes back around was um and it wasn't even one I planned on. It wasn't even my live, but I just was invited into a live and started talking about it. Is that you also, if you are always saying, what did I do to deserve this?
exactly.
What karmic, you know, I must owe some massive karmic debt. You are inviting more negative things in. And it really is as simple. We talked about earlier of it being involved, but it is really simple to call your energy back to you. So you
Hmm.
talk about you pick up all that negative energy, literally call your energy back and send any negative energy back with love and light.
Exactly. Yeah.
And one of those affirmations that you're saying, if you are one of those people that always say, "Oh my gosh, what did I do? I must have been a Bob boss in my past life. I must have done some
No.
people dirty, to be, to have this life," or whatever you're saying. Change that thought process to, I have
Yes,
paid all of my karmic debt.
I
I
did.
no longer owe any karmic debt.
See, that was the epiphanic awareness I had in the middle of the night back in January of 2023 when I woke up in the middle of the night and I was going through a dark night of the soul and I was purging. I knew I was in the process of purging to, to bring in
Yeah.
and it was and that's when I realized that there was a karmic that I had to wake up and realize that there was I had created this, but in that I was healing. I did a Reiki session on myself, 4 o'clock in the morning. I do a Reiki session. I say, I release, I forgive, I release any type of, it's paid. It's the debt is paid. And now it's gone. The energy that the space is available for this amazing what I'm supposed to be propelling me into my future, which is where my
Yes.
purpose and passion are. And then I fall. I don't usually fall asleep. I fall right asleep. I wake up in the morning in a pool of sweat, and it was February, so it was not
Right.
hot outside.
Mhm.
And the dream I was having as I woke up was me and my girlfriend Laura and my girlfriend Jess were up here at this place called Alara, where I've do sound journey meditations and stuff. And Jess was facilitating this sound journey yoga meditation, and my friend Laura was there. And I have these chimes in my house all over the place. And in the dream, I had them and I was trying to figure out where I wanted to put them so they could be infiltrated with the vibration and the frequency to then bring back to my house. And Laura was teasing me, and Jess was simply directing people where to put their yoga mat. That's a dream. And it was just like, that was my, like, but it is a process. It's a
Yeah.
process of realization. It wasn't a poor me, a victim. I'm not a poor me. I'm not a victim at
Mhm.
all. I am a conscious creator. I'm an intentional. Okay, so this is what's happening. It's not pleasant. What's going on? We need to dig deep to,
Yeah,
and
what
then,
lesson am I learning?
yeah,
What
exactly.
is the lesson? What is it that
Yes.
is blocking me? And why? Where did it come from? Where did
Hmm.
this limiting belief come from? The why
Hmm.
is super important. The why behind it is super important. And
I jokingly say I must have been a mob boss. I just,
right,
so
no, I know. But people say that, but that's the thing is people all the time say that, like what did I do in a past life? Or, man, I owe some big karmic debt. What did I do? I must have been a horrible person or this and that. And like, no, but you're manifesting that shit right into your life
Right.
Mhm.
because you are going to attract. And if you are here to do, there are people on, everyone is not meant, as Jeff was saying, where, things that are not meant for us are not going to come to us, by
Right.
the way. So,
Mhm.
you can ask for something and when it doesn't come, it's because it's guiding you onto where you really need to be. And
Mhm.
and that's where the soul searching and the really getting down to what is it that you truly want? What is it do you truly desire? And where does your passion truly lie? Because if you're doing something just to make money, it's not
Mhm.
going to work. It's not, you have to love what you're doing. You have to be passionate about what it is that you are
I mean,
manifesting in your life.
people can, but like, because there's a lot of people who have jobs and they go to their
You
jobs
know
and
how okay, but you do okay, but
they're
they're stressed out, they're sick,
unfulfilled.
they're gonna die
Right.
young, they're not
Right.
enjoying their life.
There's no
And I have known
fulfillment.
plenty of people who made millions of dollars and lost millions of dollars because
Mhm.
of what they were putting out there. So just because you can make it doesn't mean you're going to keep it
Exactly.
and does not mean that you're going to be happy.
Oh, exactly.
The most I ever
Sacrifice.
made, the most I ever made was in Philadelphia. Okay, when I worked for, I ran a nightclub down in Philly, and it was fun. Don't get me wrong, it was fun. But I was on drugs.
Mm.
I spent more money. I had the job that I wanted. The job at that time that I worked for, that my degrees in marketing, everything that I, you know, in a gay bar, and the number two nightclub, we were talking about bringing Madonna in and like having serious conversations about having Madonna in in the friggin' club, and if it wasn't for about 100 people, we needed about 100 more people to have sight lines. Our sight lines were off by 100 people. If I had 100 more people could see Madonna, I could have had Madonna in my club. Okay, just to give you an idea of
Yeah.
like, I was at the um, inauguration for the mayor. I threw out the first softball for the, like, literally I had the life that I dreamed of,
Right.
Be careful
right?
what you dream of, right?
Except I started doing drugs. Okay, and you
Yeah.
know, I'm not talking about pot because I wish I could just smoke pot. I really
Pot's
wish.
not. It's legal anyway.
Right,
Pot's.
but
Yeah.
it wasn't then. But I like the upper stuff. So you have to look at how you. One of the things that I talk about all the time is how you self sabotage too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Now, before that, that would never have been. I was a positive peer educator. The Say No to Drugs campaign. Trust me, I was like all over it. I didn't do drugs until I was literally in Philadelphia, really. So that whole thing was me self sabotaging. You have to watch and make sure that you're an energetic match for what you want, or you will
Exactly.
do stuff like that
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
often.
And that's where I shared something recently. This guy, it was a guy's TikTok where he talks about like dating apps. And I think, and I'm talking about like from a heterosexual perspective.
Hmm.
My heterosexual girlfriends that I know who are on these apps or these websites, it used to be eHarmony and Match and all that stuff, unfailingly, unfailingly. It was one nightmare bullshit situation after another. The guy was either found out he was married or he was dating other girls or I mean unfailingly over and over. And I'm just like, meet somebody like just like through your friends or where you observe somebody in their natural habitat and you develop an interest and then go from there. But this like swiping left, and now it's even worse. But anyway, it's like if you're on dating apps looking seeking looking, you're not fall in love. The most important relationship you're ever going to have is a relationship with yourself. And we talked about this, Jeff. Like love yourself. But in order to love yourself, you have to know who you are. In order to know who you are, you've got to answer those questions. You've got to ask questions. You've got to answer the questions. You've got to cultivate that deep self-awareness, that self-worth. So when you,
Yes.
because I have a girlfriend, and she was dating this psychotic fucking sociopathic narcissist. And I know other girlfriends, they'll this abusive asshole. Well, they get out of the relationship with him, okay, but because they haven't changed their energy, they attract another abusive asshole.
And then
Now,
they say,
and they,
I
all
like a
guys are
bad boy. That's
assholes.
my type. That's my
Mhm.
favorite one, right? That's my type.
Yeah,
No, it's not. It's your pattern.
it's your pat. Yeah, we have everybody has
Right. It's a
patterns. I have a
pattern.
pattern.
Yeah,
You have your
everyone
pattern.
does. Of course.
Well,
Yeah.
you start. So we talked about addiction a little bit because I talked a little bit about the drug use, right? So that was my way of numbing at the time and dealing with the whole bunch of things that I was dealing with.
We all
Okay.
know that I'm the queen of numbing.
So one of the things that I have found since is that there's all kinds of things that you do to do that, right? It could be a video game, it could be it could be TikTok, it could be this, it could be that.
Hmm.
And I have the best thing I've ever heard around this is that if there was this father and he ended up getting his kids taken away because he would go and every day, every morning, he would hit their hands with a hammer.
We just talked
We
about
just talked about this. They would hit their hands with the hammer. They'd hit their hands with the hammer. They'd hit their hands with the hammer, right? And one time he hit it too hard. I mean, not that he should ever hit anything, but one time he hit it harder and it crushed his hand, the kid's hand. So the kid got taken away. The kid went and found a hammer and would hit himself because your body starts looking for that interaction. Your chemicals, your hormones. We talk about this with food a lot, but it's all the actions you do release and play with your hormones. So you deal with these happy and sad moments. Oh, this is really cool. This sucks. This is really cool. That's
Hmm.
all hormones.
Yeah.
You're feeding your brain, whatever that is. And as you're building these new neural pathways, that's why we need to build these neural pathways is to create these new chemical bonds for your brain. That's the
Yep.
neurological reasons. And so it's funny because I literally call these people all the time. When I tell you that I talk to these ladies, at least Stephanie is at least once a week, and Heather is every day. And if I don't talk to her if I don't say hi to her, we haven't had a face to face conversation in a couple days. It feels weird. And like today, we were like, I haven't talked to you like since Saturday. Like
Right.
face to
Right.
face. It's like, wait, this is weird.
I hear you, dude.
So you have to
And
watch it
Heather and
yourself.
I just comment on each other's everything.
Right.
I'm like, hell to the yeah, girl.
Yeah, yeah. You know what's funny about that is when I read your messages, I can hear your voice
Mhm.
saying whatever it is that you
Right, right.
I
Yeah.
hear
I
you.
love
Yeah.
it.
So I want to wrap this up with like kind of going over what we kind of talked about. Becoming an energetic match. It's not about what's out there. It's about what's in here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Start working
Yeah.
on yourself. If you want to manifest the life that you want, you have to work on yourself. Done. You have to work on yourself.
Start
You have
with
to
what
love
you want.
yourself more than anyone else.
Yeah.
And people go, "Oh my gosh, like I love my children more than I love myself." Then you have an issue. You need to
Exactly.
work on yourself because
Mhm.
it's a different kind of love. It's a different kind of love. Your partner is a different kind of love. You need to love yourself unconditionally because that is the only unconditional love that there is the love you have for yourself.
And but in order to do that, you don't just, oh, I love myself. Oh, Heather said to love
Oh,
myself. Stephanie said, yeah, exactly. It's about again doing the things. Like if I want to be on the Food Network, I can't just go, let's be on the Food Network, and then just
Oh, please do.
why is the Food
Can we get
Network
that
not knocking
video?
on my door?
right.
It's like okay, it's like I bought a couple journals, and recently the most recent journal was the Lucky Girl Journal. It
Mhm.
is amazing because what we do, Heather and Jeff, is I'm constantly, like how many times have you written, what is your ideal day look like? Well, I get up at such and such and I
Right.
go downstairs and I have my bone broth and I sit in my sacred space and I go to the gym and I come home, I take a shower and then I go do a talk or I do a cooking presentation or I go to my restaurant. And it's like, yes, yes. And it's like, I have written like, and again, this feels amazing. This happens. Because you got to know what you want, but most importantly, like I thought I wanted pharmaceutical sales, but
You have
most
to know who you
importantly,
are.
you have to know why. I know why I want to
Yeah.
be on the Food Network. I know
Mhm.
why I want to have, this thriving, healthy chef staff business that eventually will ship pre-prepared, healthy, delicious meals to you all over the country.
Mhm.
So there's a why. So when you know why, when you know who you are and you know why, all of a sudden, like we've come together. I've never met either one of you online. I mean, except for online. We're gonna meet in person.
Yeah. But you're one
And
of my
it's
closest people.
yes, yeah.
You
Yeah.
literally, she's on my trip plan. Like it depending on which version of this I leave here in 2 weeks, which version of this it happens is which side of the Nashville she sees me. But
Hmm.
she's either right before Nashville or right after Nashville.
Yeah.
You know,
Hmm.
she's literally the one right before or right after. So yeah, definitely. And Heather was supposed to
Absolutely.
be around Christmas, and I'm really, 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 really pissed that I didn't get out of here in time.
The party
Um,
of the 23rd.
I know, I know. I was supposed to be there on the 23rd, and I was not, and I am not happy about that. But that was because I had to deal with some stuff for myself, and I
Right.
had to deal with. So this doesn't end, and all of a sudden you have this. You have it all. Ooh, I can
Ugh.
manifest anything,
You don't
right?
have to do
I have
that.
arrived. I had my awakening, and I am here, and this is beautiful. Oh, I wish this happened.
Right.
Can we?
Every time that and so that's the other thing. Every time that I want something, I make a plan. I do, which is the funniest thing. Like, the best way to have God laugh at you is to make a plan, right?
Mhm.
Um, is why did it not happen? Or what lesson do I need to learn in this moment that it has delayed it past what I want? Jeff, and
Mhm.
I've had to tell Jeff this. There's a reason.
There's a
There's a
reason.
reason you haven't left yet. There's a reason why. And it could be that it stopped him from being stuck somewhere else. It
Mhm.
could,
Right.
like he's never, it could be just lessons that he needed to, you need to learn
Mhm.
right now, right? There's a reason. Steph, if you would have gotten your show in 2019 when you said, this is what I want, right? Like,
Or 16.
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
16, like, there was
Right.
a reason why that didn't happen, right? Like
Right.
now you're a completely different person. Now you're already delivering food. You already have a cookbook. You already, right? So now when you open up, when you have your show, you're like, yeah, and bam,
Yep.
and
Bam.
bam, and you
Yeah.
know, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Definitely.
Absolutely.
And I think it's so important to remember there's a lesson here.
There's
Hmm.
always a lesson.
There's a lesson here.
There's
There's a
always a
lesson.
lesson.
Both
And you're
both good and
always
bad.
ever changing and learning,
Yes.
right? So if you think that you're going to manifest something and once you get it, you just get to stop, it doesn't work
No,
that way.
God, no. Oh my God. You think Oprah like just sits back and goes, "Oh, well, no," because people like us, people who are out there putting, I mean, it's you keep going and you keep going, or you're
Mhm.
dead.
Yeah.
Well, that's just it. In the universe, you either grow or you die.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's
What
all there
else is
is.
possible? What else
There.
is possible?
And you can still be alive and not be living.
Oh,
Oh, that's a sticker on my car. You exist, but do you live?
I
Yeah.
I got a community strike for something that I wrote around that. So I won't say that out loud, but yes, it's and it was from
Yeah.
Alanya. So there's many ways that you can not live.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There's many ways that not live, and actually, most people don't.
No, you're right. I
Meander,
don't.
just
And,
meander, and wonder why this is happening or that's not happening or this is,
Oh,
yeah,
it's like be intentional, guys. Be
you have to
intentional. Know what you
yeah,
want
be
and know
intentional.
why.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. I do have to say one thing that's going to kind of bring the vibe down. Thank you so much. First and foremost, thank you so much for being here today. Um, Heather, you're my bestie and I love you so much. And Stephanie,
Oh,
you are such a light. You could be anywhere I am. You are welcome, always. Um,
Thank you.
I actually have some bad
I
news,
love you
guys.
guys. Huh?
what?
I have some bad news. Um, One of our hosts here on the True Awesome Network passed away last night.
Oh no.
Joyce Singleton. She is the host. She was the host of the Home Training, and she is such a beautiful light. One of you guys, if you followed along on this show for long enough before it was this iteration, um, Coach T used to be on the show often. It was his sister. So if you guys can send some love and light to Coach T, please do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
Um, they're really going through it. I mean, it happened last night. We all know that. She was such a beautiful person, and she was dealing with cancer. She's probably in much less pain, all the good things, and it happened. So it has to be acknowledged, and
Mhm.
she deserves to be honored and acknowledged. She was really another person I talked to quite frequently, and um, was always just one of those people that was no nonsense.
Oh yeah.
And she was
We don't know
psychic,
anything about being like,
right? And she was because
No.
I surrounded myself with freaking psychics. She was another one that would message me out of the blue and say, "Jeff, what are you doing?" And I'm like, "What? What am I doing? Like what?" She goes, "You know what?" And I'm like, "I don't know what." And she would tell me exactly what I did, like 20 minutes ago. That was stupid. Because I was pretending I didn't know what I did, but of course I knew exactly what I did. That was stupid. Um, yeah. So definitely sending her family, her friends, all of us, and love and light. And thank you all for being here today. We will be back
Thank
next
you.
week with a beautiful panel. I can't wait. These are so much fun.
Oh
Love them.
God.
yeah, I'm loving it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And Stephanie was
Mm.
here last week. She was just in comments instead. That was
Oh yeah,
all.
I was in comments.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, those two guys, they were both amazing. I love them. Like
Mhm.
they were so incredibly knowledgeable. They were just dropping nugget after nugget after nugget. And I think I requested both of them as friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love empowered people out here making a difference in the world.
Yeah.
Lee's absolutely amazing. His wife's birthday was the other day. They were just in Chicago. These are all like so far. I've had some wonderful people on that I know very well, and like I can give you all their backstories, which is great. If you want to be on this show, reach out to me and let's see what that looks like. And Heather, what do you have going on this week? That's what I'm forgetting. I'm
I'm going to be
forgetting.
live here in a little while on the old talk, and I'll be pulling some cards tomorrow. I'll do color and chat at 7:30 Pacific Standard Time because unlike everyone else, I'm on the West Coast. I always have to be the one that is different.
Keeps me up all
Living
night.
Oracle Wellness across the board. Come check me out. Book a session. You can hit the link in any of my bios and do that, and come have a reading or a soul session with me.
Yeah, and guys, one of the best things I do in my week, and this isn't just because it's Heather. One of the best things I do in my week is I actually go to the creative chat,
Create and chat, color and chat. Yeah.
learn chat on Wednesdays. It gives me a focused time to create, and she yells at me if I'm working, So I have to write. I have to do something that is not work
Yeah, because
related.
the idea is to give a safe space where you could come, you could talk about what's going on with you. I drop some great nuggets and wisdom about healing and manifestation and whatever it is that we want to talk about. And it gives you just time to just be, because we're always going, going, going all the time. And it's just a time to create something beautiful that has nothing to do with your business or your kids or your anything. It's just a beautiful space to come and be for a little while.
And it really is. It really is. Steph, what do you got going on?
HealthyChefSteph.com, y'all. More meals for clients, just living my best life, making shit happen, actively putting myself out there in a myriad of ways, making it
Love
happen.
it.
Love it. You guys, and her cookbook is phenomenal.
Yeah,
I
here's
know
my
you can pick
cookbook.
it up. I bought it as a gift. I'm kind of bummed. I'm gonna have to buy me a copy now because I realized that I need some of the recipes that I don't have.
I
The
need
chicken,
to get it.
the chicken
Beef
piccata
Ricken.
that's on that front page.
Oh, yeah, it's amazing.
Oh my god!
Yeah. And there's like, screenshots from my show and like
Yeah,
it's a funny, silly show.
definitely pick it up.
Healthy is delicious.
And guys, I have a new community starting up very soon where we're going to actually start creating. It's called the Creators Club. It's very, very, very low cost. You don't even have to think about it. Trust me, it's less than Netflix. And we're going to get together and we're going to spend the rest of this year creating the life that you want without the drama, without the mama, without all the crap that going through, and actually, no kidding, what is it that you want from your life? And we're getting there. I promise you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's my promise to you. If you do work, by the end of this year, we will get to where you want to be. Okay, so if you're interested in that, check it out. You can always grab stuff in Amazon. My links are in my bios too. You guys are all loved. I will see you next week.
Bye, everybody.
Everyone here at the True Awesome Network asks you to please subscribe, like, comment, and spread awesome.